I do have a chameleon effect equipped on one of my armor pieces or one of my rings or something, so it looks really stupid. But yeah, we're back with the finale of my Oblivion Shivering Isles playthrough, which is effectively a continuation of my playthrough that I did of the, you know, the main game and all the guilds and stuff like that off screen. Got our Argonian assassin character here, you know, with a dagger and bow and arrow kind of set up, which is sick. And basically, I don't think there's that much to do left. Right, so Théoden is upset that we killed Syl and replaced her as the Duke of Dementia. Betrayed Sheogorath and joined the forces of Order. Right, according to Théoden, Order has already taken the Fringe, and so we're to travel to the Fringe, which I did fast travel to, right. So we can just kind of get right into it, effectively, and see how long this is gonna take. Again, not that I'm in a huge rush, but my mind is like so far checked out of Oblivion at this point that even just the couple of days that it's been since the last stream, I'm like kind of just so not in the mode of playing this. That's not necessarily a slight on the game. I mean, I played a lot of it that first week or two or whatever it's been.
Center now. Your Grace, the situation is grim. Last night, as dusk fell, the spire at the center of town became active.
The spire?
Soon after, the area around it began to crystallize and change. It wasn't long after. I do have an idea how we might be able to stop them. I've been losing Mazkin with each attack, and I'm nothing but men. We are pinned down here. If we lose, the gates of madness will fall. If the gates fall, the enemy will flood into the Isles. We will be helpless to stop them. Now that you've arrived, we cannot talk now. We don't have very... Even though I have served with these Mazkin for decades as the Duke of Dementia, command them if you... Very well.
Seducers are at the ready, Your Grace.
For the Mad God!
I don't think I'm getting sneak boosts off of this anyway, so I might as well just stay standing. Oh shit. But like maybe I'll be able to hide for long enough. Yeah, there we go. Damn it. You guys have anything interesting? Take my arrows back. Simple order sword, weak as hell. Is that it?
Are the Mazkin prepared?
Oh, I see.
Very.
The battle!
Here they come.
Shit. Staying in sneak mode might be a good idea, just in case they don't see me. Or lose track of me. Because I do have 20% chameleon, so like that does help the situation. Also, you don't have any ranged attacks. It shits.
For the Mad God.
Can we not do this? Take these back, because even though I do have quite a bit, I don't want to get too lackadaisical. Gustavo, good to see ya. It has been a while indeed. Hope you've been doing well. What's new with you? Hopefully good news.
Back to your ranks. More are
Busy is good, right? Ah, shit. Wait, what the hell? Did it slip past and hit someone behind him, maybe? I'm very bad. See what I mean when I say that I'm out of the mode of playing this game now? Like the first stream or two, I had a great shot, and then for whatever reason, Or not for whatever reason, but now that I've like been playing less, I don't have that same precision. That's not what I meant to do. But granted, it is a little trickier when I'm trying to like not hit allies too. Busy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Sense. There you go. You playing was it Master Duel or I know they did that GBA collection somewhat recently. Shit. Old Yu-Gi-Oh! Before things got complicated. Fair enough, fair enough. Is it like tabletop or is it like a virtual way to play? I never really got like super into Legacy, okay. I never got super into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! But obviously growing up that was like a big thing. And I had some Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards at one point. I don't think I have them anymore somehow. But it's a property I'd be interested in getting into. Like that Game Boy collection seemed interesting, just maybe a little pricey.
This battle will not end until we find a way to shut it down.
You know, I like me some video game like legacy kinds of collections, right? Older collections of older stuff. You know, Konami's been doing. I guess it is Konami that owns Yu-Gi-Oh, right? I think so. Like they've been doing these collections for a while, and it's quite enjoyable. It's more convenient than having to track down what's it called? Released before Master Duel and Duel Links. Okay, so like an older, like browser-based kind of Yu-Gi-Oh game. That's sick. Sick.
I am not certain.
Whatever happened to your SMT Nocturne playthrough? Did you end up seeing that through, or had to bail on it for other reasons? Or I feel like I haven't been able to ask you about it in a while.
One of my scouts reported that the ruins have been opened recently, and a number of these knights are now guarding the entrance. I did, and she did not return. I can only assume that she was caught and killed. If we attempt to assault Zedaphin, Passwall will be overrun and we will lose.
Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution.
Additionally,
As far as the collection is concerned, I'm not sure what games exactly are in that.
Is not an option.
Let's see. I do see Duel Links and Master Duel on Steam. Yeah, Legacy of the Duelist, Early Days Collection. This one, I think it has like a lot of games in it actually. 14 games. Duel Monsters, Duel Monsters 2, Monster Capsule, Dark Duel Stories, Duel Monsters 4. There's like a ton. I'm not gonna read all of them, but only mostly positive on Steam, which is most people are just saying the price is too high, but yeah.
Your insight is impressive.
What was the last thing you mentioned? I think you were at the obelisk or something like that with the sisters. Because I remember we were talking about the puzzle with the sisters where you have to like, I think you have to not encounter each of them or something like that, or you do have to specifically, I think, defeat each of them without stepping off or something. If I'm recalling that puzzle correctly. And that's like pretty, I mean, that's maybe more late, like mid-game. No. Actually, I'm wrong. You were talking about the Temple of Amala, I think. The one with like the shadow dungeon, and then you have like the one with like is it breakable walls or something like that? Or you fall through the floor? Like the 3 different ones or whatever. Because then after that, it's like the Diet building. And then I think it's just the final dungeon from there.
The spire in Passwall. It is believed to be a monument from times past, but its true purpose appears to be more sinister. It seems to be a source of power for these invaders, if we cannot disable or destroy it somehow. This town has stood on the edge of the Shivering Isles since they were born from the mists of time. For our purposes, it's walk with our Lord.
Just head to the objective. Oh, I'm still chameleon, okay. Come on, chameleon. The Pyramid Temple posted. Powered through until endgame. Nice, nice. Yeah, those dungeons were tricky. Like, it's a lot of trial and error, I find. And that's, like, the big thing. Like, I do find Nocturne's dungeons to be interesting and varied and stuff like that. It just... There's a good number of them that do end up feeling very trial and error-y in a frustrating way. Like, the final dungeon has a really, really long teleport maze that I actually find less tolerable than the Strange Journeys teleport maze. Well, Strange Journey's first teleport maze, I guess, in Sector E. Because there's some teleport bullshit later on in that game, but... But I do miss that style of dungeon design, though. But, you know, maybe with less trial and error kind of stuff. But just like the variance of it. I miss that in the newer SMT games. I say that like I've been playing the series for a long time, but I just mean like... Since having gone back to Strange Journey 4 and playing 5, as great as 5's combat is, I just wish there were more traditional dungeons. But... It's a very modern Zelda-esque problem, too, I feel like. But I don't think it's nearly to the same degree, because I think SMT5's combat is good, whereas I don't think Breath of the Wild's combat is that interesting. It's like just kind of generic. It's like, oh, you can roll the boulder on them, or oh, you can do this other obtuse shit that isn't necessary, and it's like, okay, cool. Fine, whatever. I like how interactive it is, but it's like, at what cost? A deep and compelling battle system, that's what. I'm just full on hater mode for some reason right now. Because honestly, at this point, I've resigned myself to being like, Zelda's probably not for me anymore. Unless they, like, fix that issue. Because I did dabble with Echoes of Wisdom a little bit. But then there was, like, this crazy audio bug on emulator, and so I had to stop my playthrough. Not that I was like super into it, but I thought it was interesting. You know. Might be a year for casual games for you, like Kirby, DK. I just replayed Return to Dreamland not too long ago, like earlier this year. Just because I hadn't played through it on Deluxe, and I love that game. Even for as you know, casual as it is, being a Kirby game. It's one of my favorites in the series, and I've got a soft spot for Kirby as well. I honestly am at the point where I would maybe go so far as to say I'm more so into the Kirby side-scrollers than I am, like, the Mario ones. Aside from, like, you know, the older stuff, of course, but... Can I just ignore these guys, then? But it depends, because, I mean, there's Kirby games I don't really give a shit about either. It's really just, like, Nightmare in Dreamland, and then, like, Return to Dreamland, and then, like, the 3DS ones I like as well. Although Triple Deluxe, I'd like to give another shot, because I've never finished that one. Because I found it to be kind of generic, but from what I hear, it, like, gets really interesting towards the end, and Planet Robobot was really enjoyable. I would love for those to get a remaster of some kind, so I have more of an excuse to replay them. What does this do? Is this gonna lock me in here? Trying Forgotten Land. Forgotten Land is really good. I think there is like really clear room for improvement in the sequel, but it is really solid. Because, like, you know, because of the new change in perspective and stuff, the combat's a little bit simpler, I would say. But there are variations on the powers that can create for some interesting use cases. Oops. But I don't know, I'm partial to the way that Kirby combat works, and, like, you know, starting with Superstar, but then, you know, coming back with Return to Dreamland. because Superstar is a game I don't really care for that much, just because of how split up it is. That's why I think Return to Dreamland speaks to me so much, is because it's that more dynamic combat. Which, granted, you don't need to use much of the crazy shit, but like it's fun to mess around with still. And what's it called? But it's like throughout one long campaign, and you've got mini games galore in Return to Dreamland Deluxe as well, which is sick. Like, they brought back, I mean, I know there's a few that are missing, but like they brought back damn near every mini game in the series. It's crazy. DS Kirby, I did really like Squeak Squad back in the day. I've struggled to get back into it, but and then like Superstar Ultra is one. Can I just run past these guys? Superstar Ultra is one that I remember wishlisting way back when, but never ended up getting it at the time. But, you know, I just gave my 2 cents on Superstar. And then, like, what? Like, Mass Attack was the one that came out towards the very end. Never played that either. But it seems... Maybe that would be worth checking out, but it's very touchscreen oriented, so I'd have to... Oh, hello.
Stay away! It's you. I remember when they attacked. I ran from past wall. Fellas ran. Every time I look for you, this place is a night. Listen. What?
But yeah, like, I remember during the DS era, I was playing a lot of Kirby. Like, Amazing Mirror, Squeak Squad. Those were the main two, really, for me. But I replayed Squeak Squad so many times. Even though there's not really a whole lot of reason to replay it, per se. Now, as far as the more simple Kirby games, I lean towards Nightmare in Dreamland because I have a soft spot for Kirby's Adventure, which that is a remake of. And on top of that, Meta Nightmare is very fun. Like, it's kind of a built-in speedrunning mode, which is what I like about it. Like, you just go level to level, there's no secrets, you're on a time... You're not on a timer, but it times you, and you can't save. So it's kind of designed to be like you sit down and you blitz through it. The thing is, you have to play through the main campaign twice. Once normally and then once with half health. But, which I did legitimately. I didn't download a save or anything, I just did that. Because, you know, it's Kirby, it's not like that challenging. What am I supposed to do here? Oh, I saw it. Don't have hearts. Oh, I see. Let's see. I was definitely not paying attention. But, yeah, I guess speaking of more casual games, I don't know if you were there, Gustavo, for, you were there for some of that Fire Emblem Engage stuff, which happened to be during the Switch 2, like, news drop and all of that. But, what's it called? I forget what I was gonna say, because I'm trying to not die. Well, I guess I'm not really at a threat of dying, but, what was I gonna say? God damn it. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, because of my lack of excitement for some of the announcements, like, I was sort of, as I was deeming it, like, reevaluating my Nintendo fandom. Like, I knew that some series were waiting for me, like Zelda, I've talked about a ton, not really being, like, my cup of tea as far as the newer releases. But, even beyond that, like, even, like, Mario Wonder and stuff like that, I wasn't super hot on compared to a lot of people. And so, like, I guess that's what sparked me a second heart. I've put, like, 5 in here. 4 or something, right? But, yeah, that's what kind of sparked my desire to replay Return to Dreamland and jump into some other titles, and I did 96 exits in Super Mario World for the first time. Been playing that game on and off for, you know, forever, 20 plus years at this point, and never did 96 exits, but finally did that, and it was fun. But like that, I have a soft spot for that game from like a nostalgic standpoint, and as you know, a more casual sort of entry-level platformer, it's great. I mean, it's probably my favorite 2D Mario, but I was kind of surprised at how like whelmed I was by it. But this is coming from a guy who 106%ed Super Meat Boy twice and will likely do it again. So it's just kind of to be expected, I guess, that playing something that's on the easier side, like, I appreciated where that game was going. What's it called? I appreciated where Mario World was going, like, challenge-wise, toward the very, very end, and then it just kind of ended, and I was like, huh. But, still a game I'm sure I'll come back to. It's not like it changed that, necessarily. So, Space Cowboy. I'll switch to drama going around. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think this is a good time. Where is my... Is there a marker for me to get out of here? Okay, I guess not, because the caverns are coming down, yeah. Wait. Hold up, can I trap these guys in here? Or am I going to trap them in here with me? Get fucked, idiots. Alright. But yeah, now is a great time to dig into the backlog, certainly. And honestly, I know, like, if you're a Switch-only gamer, like, if you're Nintendo-only, then of course a lot of the third-party offerings at launch of the Switch 2 will be compelling. Oh, that's probably the Switch that opens this. A lot of Switch talk. Like, you know, if you haven't played 7 Remake, if you haven't played Cyberpunk, whatever, right? Whatever else is coming over, Elden Ring, then that's great. But I know, like, for me, as someone who has access to these games on PC, from an exclusive standpoint, it's like, you know, it's really just Mario Kart and Donkey Kong, and I'm not, like, super compelled by either of them. Not enough to buy a system, I'm so ass. Not enough to buy a system, so I'm kind of in the same mode where I'm like, well, shit, I guess I'm gonna wait for a Switch 2 until there's... Similar to what I did with the Switch 1, honestly. Like, I waited until Let's Go came out. This is hilarious. That, of all games, was the one that got me to buy a Switch, because I was feeling nostalgic for Pokemon at the time. And, like, of course there was Zelda and Mario and other stuff out already, excuse me. Probably potion up. They have weak potions. Prioritize that. Potion of two more of these, and then I think, yeah, that's the cap. And then, yeah, I can't repair my shit right now because... So that comes down... Wait until 3 houses. That was a great point to jump on as well, I would say. Shite. But yeah, I think I got mine. I basically got Let's Go for free because I got it with like a bundle of some kind on eBay. It was like a Switch that came with Let's Go for, you know, 300 or whatever the MSRP was. And then I sold my copy of Let's Go after, so I kind of like sort of made money off of that, value-wise at least. Yeah, with Switch 2, I imagine it'll be the same, because, like, as excited as I am for a new Kirby Air Ride, will that be a system seller? Probably not. It'll probably be that, plus, you know, whatever Fire Emblem has exclusive, plus if there's an exclusive Metroid or something. But because Prime 4 and even, like, ZA I'm very interested to play, like, I can... Like, I've mentioned this before, like, I can dump a cartridge and play it on my PC. because, you know, Switch emulators exist, right? Whereas like with Switch 2, it's going to take some time, and it's probably going to be unstable for a while, and etc., etc. Still can't repair my stuff. Okay. Mazkin. Thankfully, these guys don't have bow and arrows, so I can just kind of like bait them over here. But yeah, I was dabbling with the Mega Man X games a little bit again, like actually practicing some skips and well, not skips, but like shortcuts and like stuff like that with X2 in particular, because that game is chock full of being able to get items early.
You honor me, Your Grace. Your Grace, you're alive. Truly. I was certain that no one could survive this. I fear that our work is not yet done. You should return to the path.
Okay. We'll go on foot so I can talk some more, but what's it called? I know you'll hate to hear this as a fan of the Mega Man Zero games, but I remember mentioning I was intending to replay them, and then I jumped back in, and I was kind of like, like, I don't dislike those games, but I was just reminded that, like, I would just rather play one of the X games or something like that instead, so it was just kind of, like, hard for me to justify doing that. And then even, can I see anything? Even for, like, achievement's sake, I actually had most of the achievements that I would have wanted to go for in the first place. Like, a lot of them were specific, and it just reminded me of how much I hate the ranking system, at least in, like, the first two. I forget if it changes in 3 and 4 or whatever. But yeah, I kind of, like, dabbled with them again, and was just kind of reminded, like, what, A, makes those games so good, but, like, also what I don't like so much about them. Ultimately feeling like I wouldn't get a whole lot out of, you know, forcing myself to replay them, for lack of a better way to phrase that. But it's just a tricky thing. It's something that I've encountered and talked about, I think, a lot with Nintendo especially, because, like, you know, I feel like I've said this a million times, but, like, if I'm going to play a Mario game, it's going to be, like, either World or 3, or, like, the Galaxy games, or, like, 3D World, or, like, you know, my top 5, essentially, right? My top 5 or 6. It's going to be one of those. It's not going to be, like, some random one that I've played before that I'm not super into. And so with Mega Man, it's like, yes, there are differences between Classic and X and Zero and stuff like that. And, but it's like, I feel like Zero... The Zero games are different because they focus on melee combat, of course, but, like, I just feel like, in my mind, the way that I like to play these games, or the way that I like to play Mega Man side-scrollers, like, the X games kind of fill a similar role to Zero for me. And that's kind of why it's hard for me to justify playing through them again. Even though I think they are good, I just think that the GBA limitations kind of hinder them. And honestly, I've been feeling that way about a lot of GBA titles. Like, as much as I love Battle Network and, you know, the GBA being my first handheld and stuff like that, you know, playing the first 3 gens of Pokemon on there and stuff like that way back when, for the first time. I look at the GBA library and, like, there's not really a ton... I'm sure there's some stuff that I haven't played, but I've dabbled at least with the major touchstones, and, you know, there are the handful or whatever of games that I love from that system, but there's also a lot that I've played and I'm kind of, like, content to just sort of leave it at that. And I guess that could go for, like, any system. You could say that about any system, right? The real kicker is, like, you can only really... I mean, you can juggle between multiple games, I do that often. But, like, in any one given gaming session, you can only play one game at a time, really. So, well, like, actually, you know, paying attention to what you're doing and, like, being intentional and shit like that. Although I was known for playing a match of Hearthstone while playing some, you know, Pokemon ROM hack or some shit when I was in college at the same time. Because both are like, you know, slowish turn-based games, but I don't really do that shit anymore. But yeah, it's like, that's why I think I kind of come to that conclusion, and that's my mentality towards games I played before, where it's like, I love replaying games and stuff like that. Like, that I don't have a problem with that, but if I'm gonna play like in a Mega Man game, it's likely to be one of the X games, and there's enough of them that I like to return to that I can, if I alternate between those, then it never gets to the point where it just feels like I'm playing the same game over and over again, I guess. And there may come a day that I want to revisit the Zero series. When I was jumping between like Zero and X recently, I was like, I just like X way more as a series. Or like, not as a series, because like those games get kind of poopy after a while, but at least, you know, the first few. And I want to give that X8 demake another shot as well. Tried that out a little bit again. Those soundtracks, like, as poopy as the X games get in you know, the back half of the series, those soundtracks fucking slap. So if there's like a competent version of those games, I'm here for it.
Further cement the victory, I have an important task for you to perform. You will seek the assistance of Relmina Vernon in Zalselm to rebuild the Gatekeeper. With the Gatekeeper restored and Zedillion in operation, you'll need to speak with Relmina Vernon. With that done, the Fringe should be secure. A powerful sorceress. I brought her to my realm so she could.
Speaking of multiple games, picked up Brothership again. Nice. Wasn't bad to get back into, except for your bad reaction speeds. It just takes some time, right? So is this? Did you like put it down for a while and you're coming back to your existing save? I'm assuming, or is this like a fresh playthrough? I actually forgot that game came out. I would like to try it at some point. I would like to. I do find it odd that, I know it's a small thing, but like, you know, the whole having, like, pressing A with Luigi to select his command in combat is weird. But I'm sure I'd get used to it after a while.
It's essential. Simply essential. I want him there guarding those gates. If any of Jiggleleg's forces show up, it wouldn't do to just let them in if more show up. Go talk to Relmina in Send Relmina my love. That'll get her going.
Shagorth is such a troll, dude. Love it. But yeah, I mean, I've been playing more of FF13. I've been existing save. Pretty slow, but it looks good. Yeah, I mean, the art style definitely grew on me. Because it does kind of look like the old instruction manual, like official art, kind of leapt off the page, which is sick. Those load times, though, from what I hear, can be grating. But, yeah, I keep holding my tongue on my FF13 playthrough, because it's likely I'll do a video. I think it's interesting. I think there are good qualities to it, but when I'm playing it, I feel like I feel nothing. Like, it just makes me feel nothing. I don't dislike it, but I'm like, I can see why some people really like it, but I can also see why some people fucking hate it too. I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle right now. And, yeah, like big picture, because I'll save the details for a video. But, combat's interesting, if a little repetitive, which, you know, it's a JRPG, so, like, I get it, but, like, the whole auto-battle thing where, like, you can't control your party members and, like, stuff like that, it draws a certain comparison that I'm not gonna mention right now, but, like, there are some interesting parallels that make me wonder if there was inspiration taken at the time, from Persona 3 specifically on PS2, so I'll just, you know, say it. Like, it feels like it's, I know it's kind of trite because it's similar to drawing Star Wars comparisons with FF12, but like, and I know with FF12 they claimed that there was no Star Wars inspiration, but it's like, dude, the opening cutscenes of FF12 like scream prequels though. So like, I don't believe you. Like, I don't believe that at all. Maybe that was just the aesthetic at the time or something for sci-fi or for fantasy sci-fi shit. Maybe that was just the aesthetic, and so it just happened to end up being that way, but I kind of don't buy it. And then with 13, it's like, there are not only narrative parallels, but like battle system parallels with P3, like the original P3, as far as like not controlling your party members and shit. To the point where I'm like, this had to have drawn inspiration. And if they claim otherwise, like, I just don't believe you, because P3 was big at the time. In an era where I feel like, I'd have to check Final Fantasy sales, but I feel like Final Fantasy was sort of starting to kind of wane at that time, whereas Persona and Mega 10 were sort of on the rise. Going from the PS2 into the PS3 gen, that is. You put Brothership down initially, blitzed Engage for a few playthroughs, wow. Then Xenoblade X, oh right, yeah. You don't think it compares to the numbered entries? Interesting. Yeah, I know that game is like... If people say that the numbered Xenoblades have parallels to MMO style, X, from what I understand, is like really MMO influenced, but as a single player game, which FF12 is also kind of like that, and it's not really my cup of tea. Like, I don't play MMOs for a reason. Like, I don't want to... If I'm going to play a single-player game, I'm not trying to play an MMO, because otherwise I would just play an MMO, and I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Though I would like to play the numbered Xenoblades at some point, give them another shot. Get fucked. The fucking wind-up caused him to get trapped. Nice. Quick save. But, yeah, I don't know, FF13's interesting. I mean, again, there's, like... It just hasn't really, like, clicked for me, I guess. Nah, that's not true, because, like, I feel like I understand the systems pretty well now. It took a while to get there, but... Yeah. There's just some... There is, like, one glaring problem that I have with it that mostly causes it to make me feel nothing. Those who have played it probably know, but like I don't. I'll save it. I'll save it for now. Judgment's been interesting though. Very slow paced at the start. Like the first chapter is way longer than the other ones have been so far, which is kind of confusing. But also like the tailing missions kind of suck. The mortal wound system sucks. Just makes things tedious. Oh shit. When you get hit by like a strong attack from a boss, it's like it chunks your health permanently. Unless you have a medkit on you or something, and it's just like, why? Just makes things tedious after the battle. I don't like that. And there's like some other stuff that just like, you know, feels kind of tacked on for the sake of having stuff to do. But like the main story and combat and stuff is it's starting to ramp up. Like I actually like the combat now. It took a little while for me to like sort of click with it, gel with it. But yeah, the combat's fun in Judgment, and it's a detective story, so it's of course it's going to be pretty slow going, but especially like those early chapters, or like that first chapter was like super fucking long. And so it just confused me, because I was like, because then the subsequent ones have not been as long, and so I'm like, what? And then they keep like forcing me to do side content. It's like, I'm trying to progress the main story, and they're like, hey, we know you're trying to progress the main story, but go do this side thing. And I'm like, I don't fucking want to. Like, if I wanted to do side stuff, I would, and I have been. But then, once I've done my side stuff, and I want to go and do the main story, let me do the fucking main story. Like, let me, like, it's so annoying from that front, but what's there from a main story content standpoint is good. It's just paced fucking weird. In a way that, like, I don't think any previous Yakuza game was like, from what I've played. Or that I can recall, at least. Like, there was some junk they had you do in some of them, but not a ton.
Am I really? I think not. I see. Sheogoras is too well then. Oh. Fine. If it be my lords, you will travel to the Gardens of Flesh and Bone. Go fetch me blood liqueur, osseous marrow, dermis, membrane, and essence of breath.
Dermis.
Away with you, dog. Sheo. You will trap blood liqueur. Are you not the exalted Duke? I'm sure you'll be able. Away with you, dog, and fetch me those components. Does this hurt more or less than last time?
It's a shortcut out of here. X had some moments in there, didn't scratch the Xenoblade experience of awesome story and world building and lived in characters. That's fair. Yeah. I haven't played it, but like from what I've seen and heard about it, even from those who like it doesn't seem like it has the same sorts of priorities as the other games. X has some of that too. Certain quests need to be completed before advancing. Yeah, I know, like, the more recent Assassin's Creeds, and by more recent I mean like Odyssey, which is the last one I played in full. I guess Valhalla was the last one that I played at all, but so it's been a while. But what's it called? There were like there's level gating for the main story, which people didn't like that much. And yeah, like that's the thing. Is like, if you want to have a bunch of optional side content and stuff, even if it does help progress your characters, like I think 7 Rebirth or something, right? There's a lot of like open worldy kind of shit in that game, most of which is pretty mundane. But like it's optional. It's not like you. I can't think of an instance in a Rebirth where if you wanted to progress the main story, it would be like, no, you have to do, like, maybe at the very beginning, it's like, go to this tower and like activate this just to show you how it works. But once you've done that once, like, I don't think it's really an issue. But yeah, Judgment has just been doing that, where it's like, I don't mind doing the side cases and stuff like that, but if I am trying to pursue the main case and then they just give me a side case to do as a part of that, I'm like, dude, like, that's not what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm still enjoying it though. Like, I've put more time into that game quicker than with FF13. Like, FF13, I played about the same amount of each, one of which over the course of like maybe the past week, and the other across the course of the past like 2 or 3 weeks. Being, you know, 13 being over 2 or 3 weeks. Like, I'm having to like be intentional and like, I don't want to say force, but I have to like choose to boot up FF13, whereas with Judgment it's just kind of like oh, it's time to play, you know, and play a little bit of a game. I'm gonna just play Judgment. Like, it's just kind of like it's like a no-brainer kind of thing, as opposed to 13 where I have to be like, all right, let's make the choice. And it's always a choice, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't think force is the right word, but it's on the right track, you know? What the shit? Take the amber. But yeah, not really much to speak on from a game front beyond that. I mean, I guess Gustavo, you probably figured out that I dropped Fire Emblem Engage and ended up just like not really gelling with it overall, and I'm being nice. But yeah, it wasn't really into it. And so I but I streamed the remainder of my Binding Blade playthrough instead. Or, like, instead of doing the last few chapters or whatever of Engage. But yeah, like, it would have helped if I... Like, ultimately, all of the mechanical systems things that I had problems with in Engage are still true. But some of those can, in some ways, be applied to Three Houses, right? As far as, like, the extra systems and stuff like that that don't necessarily need to be there. I think Three Houses does a better job of... like, it does kind of suck that some of them are mandatory, but, like, at least it matters, you know? Like, at least it's actually, like, this is how you build your characters, as opposed to you kind of don't need to pay attention to this shit. Unless you want to do something, like, crazy. And then I'm like, why is the system here for Engage? Like, everything in Three Houses, well, most systems in Three Houses have purpose. Now, whether or not you like the focus of the purpose on that, I understand that some people might not. But at least there's purpose there, whereas I feel like with Engage, it's like, there's a lot of systems there and a lot of activities that just don't have much of a purpose, whether because they don't stack or because this could have been done elsewhere. Like, you could achieve the same thing by just deepening another system as opposed to adding another system, etc. and so on. Caught up. Nice thumbnails once you switch to FE6, yeah. Yeah, I tried to get a little creative with that one. Are you okay? Can I hit you through the... No. Hey, little buddy. Oh, I actually can, nice. Just waiting for your face to clip through, just so. There we go. But yeah, I need to sit down and record that FE6 video now that the Yakuza video is done, which should be going live for everybody. It's live for members right now, but it'll go live for everybody tomorrow morning. So hopefully that video does better than the original release of it. But even then, I mean, I'm happy with how it turned out. I think it's a good encapsulation of everything that was in the original unedited kind of version. But yeah, when it comes to Engage, ultimately all those systems things and the problems that I have gameplay-wise and stuff like that, I was very surprised to look up how people feel about Chapter 11 and 22, and people actually like that shit, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this game is built around these systems, and then you take them away. It does not work for me at all. And I hate that the defense of that is like, oh, just get good, or like, whatever. And it's like, meanwhile, me playing FE6 on hard mode, which is just the same fucking thing, basically, because there's no emblems or rewind. So it's like, I don't have a problem with playing a Fire Emblem game without those things. It's when you have a Fire Emblem game designed with those things in mind, and then you take them away. Like, to me, something like that is inexcusable. I hate that shit. It doesn't matter what game it's in. Maybe there are some exceptions, if there's like a clever twist on it, right? Like Skyward Sword, I kind of like that segment where you're stripped of everything and you have to stealth around a little bit. And plus, it's just not really that hard of a segment either. Like, it's a little tedious, I get that, but at least there's like a... They make it interesting still. As interesting as Skyward Sword can be, at least. Which I like that game, but come on. And I keep fucking deflecting the point that I'm making. Beyond all the mechanical systems things I have problems with Engage, if I gave a shit about what was going on narratively, that would definitely change my desire to push through. Like, maybe at that point I would have bumped the difficulty down just to see it through, but I just simply did not give a shit about anything that was happening. And I think that helps with Three Houses as well, but I also like how intentional, even if it's intentionally mundane and intentionally tedious, I like how intentional the systems are integrated into Three Houses, and that helped keep it engaging on my many playthroughs of that game, up until my most recent one, which it was just taking too long. It's just too long. Oh, and I guess I did have an idea. I had mentioned, like, I had mentioned what if I did, like, a hypothetical what I would like to see in a Three Houses Switch 2 upgrade of some kind. I think those could do really well as shorts, potentially. Like, there's a few key points that I think could be refined and streamlined a little bit without sacrificing the depth or without sacrificing the intention behind those systems. I think, and I kind of had the idea of, like, what if I made those into shorts? So I might do that, but probably after the Binding Blade video, as I tied myself over until my Tellius replay, which I really want to get around to, because those games are awesome. But, let's see, so there's one in this zone, and then there's one in the other zone. You have to choose to play SMT3, you have to be in a mood. Or will be in store for you. Yeah, that's fair. Also died a lot in the die building because of Mudo spam. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't remember that being like too much of an issue, but I think at that point in the game I was probably running for most encounters, to be honest. Or rather, I think I just had a setup at that point that was like really powerful. Like the Fiends are just... The Fiends are fun to use because it's cool to be able to fuse the bosses in SMT games. That's always fun. But in Nocturne, the Fiends are so powerful that it's like they kind of invalidate, in a sense, like using a lot of the other demons. So once I got Daisojo, it was like game over for like most of the rest of the game. Oh, is this in this loading zone but above me? That must be what that is, right? Because 24, yeah, it's got to be like above or below or something. Just pick a direction and try that way. Also, I think this is probably showing me where to go, kind of, maybe. I'm assuming that's a one-way. Damn it. I'm also running low on Elven arrows. So, like, there's got to be, like, some other room on, like, a higher level here. I see there's, like, a layer, like, under here. So... where can I go? Is this just a dead end, then? Yeah, I'm assuming this opens from the other way. Wow, a dungeon that's actually interesting in Oblivion. That's kind of wild. We've actually got some, like, design going on here. There's been some others that have their merit, but, like, you know. In a game with so many dungeons, and in a game where I think they were all done by one guy or something like that, it's not, like, terribly surprising that they're kind of not that noteworthy. Just kill this thing so it gets off my back. Yeah, I think this light is definitely a sign of some kind. Yeah, it's a one-way. Wasn't this just where I was, though? No, never mind. Oh, nice. That was a one-shot. Oof. See, this game is still fun to play. It's just like, I'm just kind of ready to put it down. So once this Shivering Isles main quest is done, that'll be all the achievements unlocked. Since the achievement list is like really straightforward, but that's like a good, you know, good stopping point until I inevitably want to play this game again someday, probably. Then again, next time I want to play it is probably Sky Oblivion, once that's out. To be fair, still running Daisojo too. Dude, Daisojo is so fucking busted in Nocturne, man. Like, meditation is just too nasty, because doesn't it absorbs HP and MP? And when MP is as precious of a resource as it is in Megaten, like if you can survive against a boss, Daisojo will eventually kill them. Like, that's the thing. And that leads to a not very interesting kind of stally sort of playstyle, but like, if it works, and that's kind of like my... I guess that's how I tend to play a lot of games, is like, if this one strategy, even if it's not interesting... Well, it depends. It depends. Because... It depends on the genre, I guess. But like, in a game like Nocturne, it's like, if this strategy continues to work, then like, why would I spend resources to change that, right? When it's like a resource limited... Not limited, but like, you can grind, but it's more just like... I'd rather manage my resources than have to grind, than like, make frivolous changes and then have to grind after the fact. To recoup those resources. Not the Flesh Atronach. What game was I playing? Oh, with like FF13 or something. Not to get too deep into it, but like, you can play that game really slow and still survive. But I'm not doing that even if it could work, because I would rather just try to push to get the battles done faster for the sake of like efficiency. And there's also just a lot of battles, because the game doesn't have much going for it gameplay-wise outside of the battle system. That's the aforementioned point that I was talking about, but yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much. I guess I've still got a ways to go on it, and like, even then I'd have to sit down and record the video and shit. So it's not too bad to talk about. Like, once I'm done with it, I should probably hold my tongue. But as I'm playing it, because opinions can change, it's not the worst thing. Buff him with Makikaja and Saps. Yeah, no, exactly, dude. It's super nasty. Speaking of super nasty, what we have going on here? So what is this? Oh, it's this, is it? Withering Moon? No? Oh, it's just the blood. Oh, yeah. The blood liqueur. Void Essence, Withering Moon. Bum bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum. Bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum. Where's that? It's like ZX Advent that some track from ZX Advent that I'm humming. Because, you know, as much as what I had to say about the Zero games, like, I still bump those soundtracks, or at least the CD rearranges of them. That shit slaps. You know, what y'all know about Departure? Or Esperanto? Come on now. Straight Ahead? Or, what are some of my other favorite tracks from Zero? I mean, even, like, just, like, Breakout from 03. Shit slaps. Hell's Gate Open. etc. and so on. I could go on, but I will not. I think the problem is if I jump, I leave sneak mode, and so they can then spot me. Oh, cool. So we made it to the portion where I've already killed everybody here, so we can just peace out. But yeah, I think, like, I keep talking about games that are coming out soon that I'm interested in. Like, obviously, Onimusha 2 Remaster I'm interested in, assuming that it isn't, like, you know, a garbage fire for some random reason, because, you know, games just can be that way sometimes. But, like, I enjoyed the Onimusha 1 Remaster, which I played a year or two ago. I don't even remember at this point, but I enjoyed it. And so I'm down for more Onimusha. But really what I'm excited for is the Raido Remaster, because the changes they're making there are very impressive for a remaster of a game that's, like, so old, I guess. And I guess this game came out the same year as Raido 1, I'm pretty sure. I think they're both 06 originally. And this is an impressive remaster, I would say. I think I've said it a couple times during these streams, though, where, like, excuse me, the people saying that this is closer to a remake, I'm like, yeah, visually maybe, but other than that, I would disagree really hard on that. I would push back and say, like, no, this is not pushing remake territory, in my opinion. It's just a high-effort remaster. But it retains some of the shittiness of Oblivion, too. Like the level scaling and stuff I've talked about before. And so that makes it hard to recommend. Unless you, like, know you like Oblivion already, kind of deal. Or if you've never played it, then sure. But, what is Raido? Funny you ask. So, the Devil Summoner series began with the original Devil Summoner on Saturn. I think on Sega Saturn, I want to say. There might have been a PS1 version as well. But that was kind of like, you know, like how Persona and some of these other series are, like, spin-offs or whatever. What is it about him feeling familiar? He's in the Nocturne remaster if you don't pick Dante. So, like, Dante from DMC is in Nocturne if you play the Maniacs version, whereas if you pick Chronicle, that is that's Raido. So Raido shows up if you play Chronicle in SMT3, which I would like to do when I replay Nocturne at some point, since I already played the Dante version. But what's it called? Yeah, Devil Summoner released on Saturn. I think it was Japan only. Then Soul Hackers came out. Might have been Japan only until the 3DS remake master of that. I think it was more of a remake, but I don't know exactly because I haven't played it. But yeah, Soul Hackers, of course, Soul Hackers 2 ditched the Devil Summoner moniker, which came out like a few years ago. Was kind of mixed received. But way back on, like, PS2 era, you had two Raido games, which were in the Devil Summoner series, but they played nothing like them. But the through line is Kuzunoha, like, that bloodline, I guess, is what connects them, because, well, even in Persona 2, the Kuzunoha detective agency is a thing. So it's kind of like, it's sort of like a reference, I guess, within Megaten, sort of generally speaking, but point being, it's kind of the idea that, like, these detectives you were dealing with in Devil Summoner and Soul Hackers, their ancestor from, like, the early 20th century, Raido Kuzunoha, was like a Devil Summoner and detective, but it's an action RPG. And the original Raido one was really stiff, and it was random encounters in an action RPG, which I just cannot. I understand there may have been limitations and budget limitations and stuff, especially at the time, but
don't take all day making your choices.
What's it called? The remaster is like putting enemies in the overworld, which I think is big. Legs of Nimble. Oh, this is kind of fun and gruesome. But yeah, a lot of the changes they're making are like kind of crazy. Enemies in the overworld, they kind of declunked the combat, it looks like, and made it play more like Rito 2, which was smoother. And there's some other stuff too that I'm not remembering. Like, they basically just took the improvements that Rito 2 made and are putting them into Rito 1, in addition to adding enemies in the overworld, which I think is huge for an action RPG. Like, I like it when turn-based RPGs do that still. Like, you know, Persona, SMT5, even like Tales of. Like, I like that aspect of those games. And those are action RPGs, so it's like kind of a similar thing. Because random encounters are fucking annoying. But, yeah, so like, it's a very niche title from the PS2 era, but from what I understand, the story is really great. The music is great because it's Meguro, you know, the guy who did the Persona soundtracks. And, he did Nocturne soundtrack as well, and some others. But, you know, you get those Persona 4 trumpets in there. Or I guess Persona 4 has the Rito trumpets, as it were. But, yeah, it's just like, it's just got a really cool kind of vibe, like that early 20th century, but with kind of like, it's kind of got like, you know, sort of that jazz, sort of, with the trumpets. I don't know if jazz is the right word, but it's got kind of like a funk to it, aesthetically. A good funk, not a bad funk. Nimbleness or fortitude? I guess it depends on what the other benefits I get from the other body parts are, right? No, wrong way. What the fuck? This is not right at all. Do I have to pick the legs first before the other ones spawn in, or can I go deeper in and just...
I hope this is as much fun for you as it is for me.
I think I have to select the legs first, probably. We'll go nimbleness. I think, because I would imagine... Oh, I see, they're on the walls, I'm stupid. So, Helm of Power, Angry Mind... Helm of Power, Angry Mind, Heart of Wound Sharing, Heart of Spell Turning. So either like deflecting physical or special damage, magical damage, Breast of Life, Breast of Magic. Like Life, I think, for durability. Arm of Slashing, Arm of Bashing, Arm of Chopping. Like Chopping. Shielding. Or sorry, Frost Shielding, Shock Shielding, Fire Shielding. I don't know. What's most common these days? Or at this point in the game. I've seen a lot of shock, I feel like. The Helm of Power will go. Wound Sharing, sure. I don't think it's gonna matter too much.
Now we travel to the statue of
As of now, Rito and Prime 4 are all you're looking forward to. That's fair.
We will perform the ceremony.
That's fair. I'm excited for Prime 4 as well. We obviously don't have a date on that yet. Which would be nice to know. Because that's the other thing. Even if I were to pick up a Switch 2 to play Prime 4, which I don't need to because it's a Switch 1 game, but like if I were to, then like the fact that there's no date makes it like super easy decision to not get a Switch 2 at first, or like until there's enough there, or like some kind of bundle that's like worth getting. Because I don't know, when it comes to Mario Kart, I feel like they made Mario Kart 8 too good. You know, there's merit to the other games, sure, but I feel like 8 is like such a great all-arounder in the series, and the track selection is like insane. So like I feel like Smash is in a similar position, where it's like I almost feel like going to anything else is gonna almost feel like a downgrade in some ways, and I don't really care about open world Mario Kart. Like that factor is not gonna sell me, personally. And plus, like, Mario Kart's not much of a system seller to me because I would only be playing that when I'm like with other people, and most of my gaming time is not that. So, yeah, but where's the repair hammers? I got too much junk in here. I think Double Dash is unique enough to stand on its own, but the track selection is garbage. Like, I think the tracks there are good, but I love Double Dash. I got a lot of nostalgia for it. I like the way it handles. I like the swapping and the way the items work and stuff like that. I love a lot of the system things. But there's only 4 cups, and so it's just kind of like, when I go back to Double Dash, it's a great party game, but like if I go back to it on my own, it's like there's not really a whole lot to do there. And I get with like 8, there's not really a whole lot to do there either, but like I still enjoy like chipping away at just getting first place in all the cups. I know it's like a really simple thing, it doesn't really prove much, but it's just more like, that can be fun, but with Double Dash, I guess you could argue it's harder. Probably. But at the same time, it's just there's not that many tracks there, and so it's hard for me to like I feel like Double Dash would be like my second favorite, just by virtue of it being so unique. Whereas like a lot of the others I feel like are just, in my opinion, strictly outclassed by 8, because 8 kind of just does what they do, but more, and in some cases better. Maybe not all cases, but some cases. Right?
First, at the beginning of the worlds were 5. Fire, water, earth, air, and light.
Waiting for a Switch 2 title that'll make you
Turned into day. The void
sell your own pants, you own. Next, Xenoblade. Yeah, that's fair. Or whatever they do next. I think it'd be sick if they remade the Xenosaga games and like fully realized what he wanted to do with those. But then again, isn't Xenoblade, hasn't the director of Xenoblade kind of gone on record saying that Xenoblade is kind of like, sort of captures what he was wanting to do with Xenosaga to begin with? I know it's not the same story or same premise, but the Xenosaga games are kind of famously like unfinished and like not fully realized. So I feel like games like that are prime for remakes. Yeah, DK Bonanza does look fun, but it's not a system seller for me either. Like, I'm not jumping out of my seat wanting to play it.
Place the osseous marrow into the cistern. Breath, child of air, bestowing movement, the stirring of spirits. Place the
And yeah, like, and Kirby Air Ride is like honestly very exciting, like a new one. But again, well, the thing is, like, Sakurai is such a great, like, I love the way that Sakurai designs games. Like, I don't think he's made a bad game, genuinely. Even for as simple as the original Kirby is, and even for as questionable as some things in certain Smash games are, like, I don't think he's made a legitimately bad game. Like, not even close to it. And so, like, maybe he would put more single-player kind of offerings in a new Air Ride, given that it'll have a full dev cycle. And, like, it's probably a higher budget to pair with that than the original, which was kind of rush out the door. To line up with the anime or whatever. But, I don't dislike DK, but it's never been a series that, like, I've loved. But I haven't played DK64, to be fair. And I know that's a divisive one, but there is a DK64 hack that lets you switch characters on the fly, which would definitely streamline some things. But I would be more partial to waiting for a recomp or a decomp to happen, similar to what Majora's Mask has working, now that that has modding potential and shit. If DK64 gets that, I'll check it out. But, like, the SNES DKC games haven't clicked with me. I've tried them so many times, and, like, they just don't... they just don't click with me for whatever reason. And I like the newer ones. I do like Returns, and I think Tropical Freeze is basically just a better version of Returns. It's great.
They are coming.
I'd be down for a third one. But it's not like
Your true power.
it's not like a series that I'm like
My child destroy the interlopers.
that I would get excited about, I guess.
Either way, tell him of our doings here.
But then again, it's like what?
My tribute.
But I've talked about this a lot on the channel. It's like what series from Nintendo especially would I get excited about? It's like Metroid, Fire Emblem, depending. Like Engage didn't really. I was decidedly not excited for Engage because I thought it looked kind of hokey and like just not the direction that I want out of my Fire Emblem titles. But which ultimately proved to like be true in my eyes as far as what I'm looking for. But but Fire Emblem's had misses in that department before, like Fates, for instance. Like Conquest, there's some system things in Conquest I don't really like, but like Conquest does make up for it. Like with the shit story stuff, it does in some sense make up for it in the gameplay department. Kind of similar to Engage. But again, I've given my 2 cents on that, where it's like, well, if I don't give a shit about what's happening, then like, why would I just not play another Fire Emblem? Where I do? Then again, I just finished Winding Blade, and I'd be lying if I said that I was like super invested in that story or anything, but I don't really feel like it's trying to be anything more than it is, whereas it seems like Engage is trying to be this like heartfelt, like meaningful kind of thing, and it just does not work for me. If it works for anybody else out there, I'm happy for you, like genuinely. Like, don't let me take that away from you. But yeah, it doesn't work. But yeah, like Metroid, Fire Emblem, especially if the Genealogy remake is real and is good, of course. But like, they haven't really missed on a remake. New Mystery, debatably. But then again, the art style is trash on the DS games, as enjoyable as Shadow Dragon is. And New Mystery can be. I have a bone to pick with Chris in New Mystery, but that's like a me issue. Well, I don't know. It's just like indicative like of the Avatar insert pandering, fucking sucking off shit that I hate. Especially in a remake where that character like didn't exist, and then it's just like, hey, let's just throw this guy in to be someone the other characters suck off, and for no reason, and just like steal the limelight from the actual main character. It's like, no, it's so bad. We're growing out of video games? I don't think so, though, because, like, I mean, like, to an extent, maybe, but I think just really my tastes have changed, and I think, like, the games that I get invested in and have the desire to revisit, I feel like that list just gets kind of smaller and smaller, even looking back at games that I've played before, as I was mentioning with, like, Mega Man and shit. I guess it helps that I have a YouTube channel that I can, if I replay something, I can post a video about it and, like, you know, make something out of that experience, even if I didn't particularly care for it. Or not care for it, but, like, you know what I mean. Like, I can do something with that. But there are games that I still enjoy for the sake of it. It's just, but if I really enjoy something, I do like to make a video on it to highlight that, of course. Because I find that process fun. Or rather, I mean, I guess video editing can be tedious and sort of annoying at times, but it is fun to see when you're working on a video and you see it, like, become an actual video after you spend hours and hours editing the audio and shit, and then you finally start to piece it together and it's like, okay, this is actually looking like something. That's the fun part. And then getting to put it out there and see what people think is usually the fun part.
Speak, citizen.
I've had a pretty good track record when it comes to that, but yeah, I don't know. I just think this year is a little bit light. I know people are saying this is a crazy year already, and I'm like, yeah, maybe, but I'm kind of like, yeah, the first quarter was jam-packed, but I feel like the rest of the year, especially with GTA 6 being pushed out into next year, like,
Blessings.
what else is coming out? Like MGS Delta, which I talked about last time, my thoughts on that, which, you know, it's MGS 3, which is a great game, with MGS 5's gameplay, which is great gameplay, so, like,
Always a pleasure.
there's no doubt it's going to be good, at bare minimum. But like, what else is big that's coming out this year that I care about at least? Like, we just don't have dates for things. There's just no dates. Where are the dates? I guess Doom comes out soon, but like I finished my playthroughs of Doom 2016 and Eternal, and then just reminded myself that I don't really like first-person shooters that much. So I'm not gonna get that.
Excellent. We might be onto something with you, and the sea. You've learned how to summon flesh astronauts. Relmina must like you, little Duke.
Oh, I have a feeling that I'm definitely gonna play Rido, and I'm sure I will do a video on it as well. Like, pretty much anything Megaten related that's new, that isn't like a Persona spinoff, I guess. Like, when it comes to remasters of stuff, remasters and remakes of, like, older Atlas stuff, for sure, video-worthy, like, off-rip. And even then, like, once P6 gets announced, like, that might have several videos in store, right? Like, it's just, the series and franchises that I care about the most are, like, in development, like P6, Elder Scrolls 6, next Fire Emblem. Prime 4 is exciting, but I'm kind of more excited about like potential Metroid 6. A lot of 6s going on.
If order has entered my army's stronghold, things.
You know, new Final Fantasy, like 7 Remake Part 3, the 9 Remake, like even a new Final Fantasy, whatever it is, doesn't remake or not, stuff like that.
Amazing! You'll want to get all the details from the messenger. Well, aren't you precious? Do you really not know? Haven't you noodled it all through yet? Because he is me. I'm him.
He's him.
Of each other, really. I won't be.
Pretty sure this predates the meme, unless this is the origin of the meme.
Be him.
I don't think so.
Happens every time. The Grey March starts, order appears, and I become Jiggalag and wipe out my whole realm. Soon. Too soon. I can already feel the change beginning. I feel like I'm not quite here. I'm not over there yet, but I'm not quite here. And I've been having moments of clarity that are quite unlike me.
That's funny.
Like now. Stop it! Oh no, can't do it. Believe me, I've tried. It never ends well. But you're still going to stop the Grey March. Stop Jiggalag! Me? From destroying my realm! Now? Nothing has changed. You deal with this messenger. Make sure my army is secure. Ta! Come visit again!
Your Grace, there is trouble. Our stronghold at Brellock is under attack. The forces of order broke in and routed.
The Monolith Soft game will be revealed. Probably won't be revealed until 2027. That's fair, yeah. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that, it just happens that, like, Mega Man's another one where, like, that series is just, like, it might as well just be dead. I've given up hope. Like, I love what we have, to an extent, but, like, what the fuck are they doing that could possibly be taking this long? Mega Man 11 was 2018, dude, and it's the best-selling game in the series, and there's still not something out. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
It is our home.
But hey, if Onimusha can make a comeback, then Mega Man will certainly be back. It's just like, where? Where the fuck is it? I don't get it.
She has taken up control of what
I'm hardly paying attention to what's happening, I'm sorry.
Hurry to Brellock while there's still time.
Oh, do I need to get...
Yes, Your Grace.
It is our home. If she has taken... New Sheoth is the capital of the... Sheogorath. The domain... Please, Your Grace, hurry to Brellock while there's still time.
But there's no quest marker. What am I gonna do? I'm a baby. I don't know where to go. Never mind. Didn't see it. The super fighting robot.
House of Mania.
Mega Man. Right, no, you're right, Space Cowboy. We've talked about that before, too. Is that, like, Inafune was the driving force behind a lot of Mega Man games in production. He's probably the reason why there was so many of them in the early 2000s, leading to that burnout and lack of quality control. Which I guess is not too surprising considering he hasn't really had a hit since then, since going independent. I mean, I wish the best for him. He invented my Blue Boy, but... You know, I'm surprised no one at Capcom... Like, how is there nobody who grew up with Mega Man games and now works at Capcom because of that? Like, how is there no one there that is passionate about Mega Man enough? And even then, fucking outsource it. Like, I hate to point to Konami as them doing good shit, but like, the Game Kitchen is making the next side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden. You know, the creators of Blasphemous are creating the next side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden. And like, Platinum is handling... Or no, that's Koei, sorry. Is it Koei? I keep getting this confused. It's Koei Tecmo. Never mind. But, whatever, regardless of which company it is, just fucking license out the Mega Man IP. Give it to Inti or something. Like, I don't know. I don't really... I tried Azure Striker Gunvolt, the first one again, for the first time in a while. I like tried it out, and I was just like, I don't really like this, but if they were given the actual Mega Man IP again, then like, that is actually something that kind of matters to me, is that like, it's great when they're spiritual successors and shit like that, but it's not it though. Like, that's the thing. It can feel like it and be even like better than it in certain qualities, but like, the reason why I like Mega Man so much is because it is Mega Man. So if it's like, hey, this is kind of like Mega Man, but it's not, I can, like, Gravity Circuit's a great example where like that game's great, even like in its own right, but it's not Mega Man. So it's like, I know that might seem arbitrary to people, and it brings up the discussion of like, oh, Nintendo games or Zelda games or whatever wouldn't get praised as much as they were if they weren't said franchise, and it's like, yeah, because them being a part of that franchise is like, that matters. I'm not just saying as like an arbitrary thing, I just mean like, as far as like a continuation, as far as an evolution, as far as, you know, like lore in some cases or whatever, like that kind of shit matters. You know, it didn't pan out so well, it seems like, but you know, Avowed coming out and kind of trying to be like a fit. I know they weren't really trying to be like Skyrim because it's not open world, but like trying to fill that a sort of Elder Scrolls-ish void. It just was never getting, like, I was interested in it at least for a little bit because of that promise, like of it being at least like something to scratch the Elder Scrolls itch, but it's not Elder Scrolls, and even then it seems like what came out was like not that amazing or anything, so whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm sure I could point. You did mention that New Blood was going into the Mega Man team some time ago. Yeah, I think you did mention that. I guess, you know, game dev just takes a while, I suppose, and depending on how ambitious they want to be with it. Which I think would be cool if they made an ambitious Mega Man game for the first time in a while. But even then, like, do something safe. Like, I feel like it would be so obvious to just do something safe. Do a safe Mega Man 12 while you're cooking something more ambitious. Or while you're cooking up, like, an X9 or, you know, Legends 3 or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, or Star Force 4, like, reviving some of these projects that did die. And I'm sure I could point to some spiritual successors out there that have clicked for me.
The blame is mine. We've lost control of Brella.
I'd have to think about him. I guess, does Super Meat Boy count as like a Mario spiritual successor? Not really, because Mario didn't really go anywhere. And it came out after New Soup debuted. So it's not like it was filling that void during that era where 2D Mario went away, right? But yeah, I would probably say I like Super Meat Boy better than most Mario games. I think Super Meat Boy is probably my favorite 2D platformer at this point, to be honest.
Faden let them in more than I could count. Faden had her.
Like, that's what my mind jumps to when I think 2D platformers at this point. And 106ing that again last year was such a blast. Especially because I improved as far as death count and time and all that. It's good shit. But, yeah, like, the identity of a series and a franchise does matter. Like, that should, like, as much as people... Like, I get the gameplay is, like... If gameplay in a game is bad, or, like, you know, if it's atrocious, if it's bad, then, like, yeah, that does ruin the experience, and therefore you could say gameplay is king, etc., right? Pickpockets, but, at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, nail the gameplay stuff, but within the confines of whatever series or franchise you're trying to be a part of, kind of deal, right? I don't know, I'm probably not explaining this super well, but it's just that kind of thing matters to me. It's the same reason why, even if there are Zelda-like games out there, like, well, there's really not that many games like 3D Zelda. I know people point to Okami, and that's one that I haven't played very much of, but, it's like, even if there are other Zelda-like games out there, if you want to call them that, it's like, but it's not Zelda, though, and what Zelda is, like, currently isn't really for me, in its current iteration, at least. So, there's that. So, like, even if there are, I keep fucking saying, goddammit, but, what's it called? It's like, yeah, even if there are Zelda-like games out there, that might be fun and I might enjoy it or whatever. It's not that, though, and so, like, that, like, yeah, that does matter. It does. It very much does. Now, with a series like, you know, Mario, for instance, it's a little different, because I feel like Mario... I mean, I guess they've leaned more into, like, sort of the trippy kinds of stuff, and the more you think about it, the more Mario does seem trippy, but I was gonna say that Mario feels a little more generic. That's not totally true, though. It just kind of was for a while. But, like, compared to their other series, right, like, Metroid has a very distinct identity as well. And as much as I really enjoyed Hollow Knight and, like, some other Metroidvanias that aren't Metroid or Castlevania, very little hits like a new Metroid or Castlevania, you know? Like, those series specifically. So, that's kind of where I stand on that.
You must set me free. The barrier can't be broken by you. It's...
Ring the chime. Ring the chime. Oh. For the longest time you wanted to play a Zelda, then Echoes of Wisdom came out. Now you picture playing Zelda. Yeah, I thought that was cool, like when I played that first hour or two or whatever it was.
You have my thanks for your grace. I'm sorry, I did not realize. Where is Fate?
But yeah, the UI is like horrendous. Like, it's just got like Breath of the Wild isms. Like, I don't mind the freedom aspect actually in a top-down Zelda, because like that's kind of, even A Link to the Past, where like there are prerequisites for going to certain dungeons, even like in the Dark World, there is some freedom there still.
Faden, we were, but our own Duke, he will we must.
But what's it called? Yeah, for whatever reason, I was like more open to the type of freedom that Echoes of Wisdom gives you. Maybe there are problems that arise later on. I don't know, because I just didn't play enough of it to... Can I not?
Kneel before the saints.
Because like a sentiment that I've stated about the open world Zeldas is like, it gives you the freedom to do anything, but like really like, if you have the freedom to do anything, then like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's very Syndrome Incredibles. Like, if you can do anything, it makes it feel like nothing almost to me. Like there needs to be limitations in place. And I feel like the inherent limitations of a top-down Zelda, like the way that sort of game is designed, even if you can place things and climb over stuff in that way, those limitations there, I think, are what make it interesting. People talk about limitations breeding creativity, and from a dev front, yes, that has happened in the past with hardware limitations, have bred creativity in certain ways, right? But from a player standpoint, the limitations put on you by the developers can breed creativity in a different sort of way than freedom for the sake of it does. And I think that's my thing, especially when it came to my Fire Emblem playthroughs between Engage and Binding Blade, which I was playing kind of like at the same time. Where like Engage gives you so much freedom, anyone can reclass into anything. Granted, yeah, again, with some limitations, so yeah, that's fair. But really those limitations are pretty minor, like you don't really have to jump through many hoops to do that. Compared to Binding Blade, where everyone is a set class, and they specifically do that role, regardless of what playthrough you're on, but there's still a lot of variance in how you play things out, and you know how RNG plays out with how units are moving, enemy units are moving and attacking and shit, to where that does breed creativity, especially if you roll with the permadeath and you have a character die and you don't reset, and then it's like, okay, well now I've got to find a replacement for this character in this role so that I can proceed. I feel like I gravitate towards that kind of design more than something where it's like, anyone can be anything. Because that's a problem I've had with certain Final Fantasies also. Check out my Final Fantasy 1 through 9 tier list to hear more on that. Right, like for as much as there is to like about FF7 and 8, is like the fact that the characters don't really have a distinct identity in battle because of the way the systems play out and because of that flexibility, which again is cool, but like I just don't like that as much as a game that has like at least some limitations in place. And you don't want it to be so limited, like I think about Earthbound or something, or even Mother 3, for as great as that game is in a lot of regards. The fact that each character specifically learns specific things at specific levels and that does not change from playthrough to playthrough, that is the thing that makes me not really want to replay Earthbound especially, is because I played through it a few times, and because the playthroughs are like so similar each time, like they might as well be identical in some ways, because you have access to the exact same tools every single time. So that's like the other end of the spectrum, where I would criticize, like the in terms of JRPG design.
You have saved us. We are forever grateful. Please allow me to teach you this spell. Also, no sign of him yet. The traitor. Our warriors will scour the halls of Brellock. Indeed, Lord Sheogorath will be anxious to hear. Speak, sister. Speak, sister.
And then you could apply that to Elder Scrolls, as far as like when it comes to like Skyrim, where there's like no limitations on what skills you can invest in, kind of thing. But at the same time, I've said it a few times in this playthrough where it's like, well, you still do want to kind of focus up, though. You still do kind of want to specialize, but you don't... There are ways to cheese it in ways that I think could be just deemed as bad. But it's not like a huge detriment to me, and it's not... In Skyrim's case, it's not anything that, like, a Purge Tree mod can't fix or something, right? Or a mod that, like, actually has classes. But even then, in Oblivion, the remaster specifically, it used to be that you could only level up by leveling up your major skills that you select at the beginning. It used to be that these were the only skills that would level you up. But now your minor skills will also at least give you some overall level experience, less than the major, but still some. And so that still, albeit in a longer and more grindy kind of process, would still, in theory, allow you to not specialize and still level up kind of thing. Which I guess is what they meant when they said it's between Oblivion and Skyrim. But yeah, again, there's things that each of these games do well and poorly. It's not so cut and dry as to be like... I just hate the thing where it's like Skyrim dumbed everything down. It's like, well, some things, certainly. Everything, I don't agree. But yeah, some things definitely. I think like if you took bits and pieces of what each of, at least like, you know, Elder Scrolls 3, 4, and 5 do best, you meld that into one game, that is like the ultimate Elder Scrolls game right there. Assuming that it's in a setting that gels with you, you know. And like Tamriel as an overarching setting is fascinating, but it's a matter of like what province they pick kind of deal. Like, I'm more interested in seeing some of the more fantastical, I guess they're all fantastical in their own way, but like some of the more fantastical, less grounded sorts of regions, like that's why Morrowind is so interesting. I think Black Marsh would be really sick elsewhere. Even like Valenwood and Somerset Isles to an extent too, I think would be sick. Whereas, I guess this goes into the thing where I mentioned that like I don't find the human races or human provinces in Elder Scrolls to be as interesting as the elven or beast-raced ones. Part of that is the dumbing down of the lore in the games, though. Like, Cyrodiil is supposed to be like this sprawling jungle or whatever in the lore, either originally or since Morrowind, and then because of, you know, limitations for the 360 and shit, or just, you know, hardware at the time. I'm sure that's like, it's definitely a major reason, I'm sure, that it's not like that, as far as the density of that sort of thing, but it's still like heavily forested and stuff, so, I don't know. I know there's some lore stuff with Skyrim too that like isn't quite to the same level as it had been spoken about prior to Skyrim coming out.
Did you see my last performance?
And I personally find Skyrim as a region to be kind of generic.
Speak quickly, mortal.
So, you know, if you took the modding capabilities and flexibility of that kind of thing and put it into a different region, I feel like that would click with me even more. And that's coming from someone who's, you know, Skyrim is probably my most played game of all time. Like, there might be something else, but like I really kind of don't think there is that comes close as far as like hours put in.
Welcome to...
That's mostly because, like, I've told this story before, I think. Like, my freshman year of college, like my senior year of high school, going into my freshman year of college, Skyrim was like most, if not like, Skyrim and Hearthstone were like most, if not all of what I was playing at the time. Because like Nintendo was in a shit spot at that point. Like the Wii U I was done with the Wii U basically at that point. Because that was post, or no, I guess that was like, what, 2013, 14, 15 kind of era. So like, you know, as a previously Nintendo gamer, pretty much exclusively prior to that, it's like there wasn't a whole lot for me, even on the 3DS at that point, that I hadn't played. Of course, I was kind of like out of Pokemon at the time, even too, because that was before I got into like Nuzlocking and ROM hacks and shit like that. Randomizers that brought me back in.
An artificial construct, an arbitrary system based on the idea that events occur in a linear direction at all times.
And I also think back to those years, and even outside of Nintendo,
Concept of time correct.
I don't think there was really much of note coming out. Like, I guess The Last of Us, but that was
Fear that our time
like well before I would have access to that game.
has a fear
And even then, that style of game isn't really something that I care about necessarily. Like, it seems like it would be just a one and done, no matter how well done the story is. So like, that's don't take my thoughts on that too seriously because I haven't played it, but
So close.
a lot of like Sony first party stuff isn't really my cup of tea because it's like the weird thing is like people will levy this criticism at 7 Remake and Rebirth, and I'm just like, it's just not even the same thing. Like compared to like a lot of other Sony first party things, which granted I guess a lot of them I haven't played, but I've dabbled, and it's like, I don't know, that style of game just doesn't really appeal to me so much, I guess. Ghost of Tsushima is the one exception where like I really want to play that because it seems like actually interesting, even though it is an open world, even though it is third-person action. I like what they're cooking over there at Sucker Punch.
What happens is what
From what I've seen,
has
I
happened.
haven't played it yet.
What always will happen.
But like even just hearing about lethal mode, like the highest difficulty,
The realm
like
dies.
just hearing about how that's designed, I'm like,
You with it.
that is like amazing difficulty design right there. You're not making things spongy for the sake of it.
Not know you, and I will
awesome.
slay you like the others. Optimism! How adorable! I love it! Even at the end, you make me laugh. I'm lying. That wasn't funny at all. No matter.
Oh, I probably would enjoy Infamous, like actually.
You and everyone
'Cause-
else will be dead, and I will be left a bad god.
See, that's one of those things when it comes to superheroes, I feel like the like official superheroes with Marvel and stuff like that, as far as like, not the comics because I'm not really read in that regard, but I mean like in terms of other media, things I would be more likely to partake in, like video games, I feel like it's a little tired, but like that's one of those things where I'm like, I'd actually sort of prefer for a superhero kind of thing to be done outside of the usual franchises kind of thing. But maybe that's just because we've gotten so much with like the MCU and shit. But yeah, Infamous is like, that's one of those older Sony IP that if it came to Steam, I would actually jump on that. And there's actually a lot of older Sony IP, like even like Sly Cooper and Ratchet and stuff like that, I'd be interested to check out. There's just so many of those games that it's, or at least for Ratchet especially, it's like a little overwhelming. Because I could emulate them, but I'm like, I've got so much else to play at this point. I'm not really looking for more games to emulate at the current moment. But yeah, there's a lot of like older Sony stuff, and yeah, Infamous is definitely on that list, more so than Uncharted or some of the others that I can't quite think of at the moment. I know they did a lot of one-off like weirder stuff back in the day too. But yeah.
I had intended to give you my staff, the symbol of my office. But life is gone from it, as it goes from me. It is now dead wood. With the staff, there was hope. But now...
Always a pleasure. Time is short.
is dead!
Long live Sheogorath. I'm gonna get my... Is this enchantment still active? I only have 13 of these. Oh shit.
All shall crumble before Jiggler!
Okay, bye.
He is gone, but hope is not lost. If the throne of madness remains empty when Jiggalag storms the... Why, you will, of course. True, but perhaps you can hold the throne, provided that you possess the proper symbol of office. Unfortunately, when Sheogorath faded, the power of the staff faded with him. The staff is the symbol of power in this realm. However, the secrets of its construction are lost.
Okay.
That which is lost can be found again. There is one being in the Shivering Isles who made the ruins of Knife Point Hollow once served as a great library. There you will find a door. Behind that door you will
I'm on the surface of the sun right now.
Although hesitate
a
to
little better.
guide you towards this path. The secrets of the past will surely aid Jiggalag, but I fear that we have no other choice. Be mindful of what you find there. The library is a thing. Take this crystal. A glorious existence.
But yeah, I know,
Knife point.
I know, like, similarly to what I was saying about franchise identity being important, I actually think, like, art style and aesthetics are important too. I know, again, it's like, there's a certain crowd who will just be like, I don't care. It can look like hot garbage if it's fun or whatever, and it's like, okay, there's lots of games that are fun. That's like in my opinion, that's kind of a low bar, but, like, that should be a factor, certainly. But, like, if that is not the bare minimum, but, like, if that's all it needs to be, then, like, play literally anything, basically, at that point. At least that's how I view things. But maybe I'm just capable of having fun with more varied games than just a lot of people. I wouldn't doubt it. Because I'm, like, very, very into this shit. Like deep into it. I have been for decades at this point. But what's it called? Like, when I look at, like, you know, I know saying something like the vibe of something is a little bit trite, and it, like, doesn't necessarily mean anything, but you kind of know what someone's saying when they, like, vibe with something, or when they like the vibe of something. And I look at, like, Sony's first-party output, and there's not really much about Naughty Dog's output that really compels me that much. Not saying the games are bad, because I haven't really played them, but, like, I'm just, from like, looking, not just at the visuals, but, like, how they play, and hearing things through the grapevine and stuff like that, even praise, in some regards, there's not a whole lot there, whereas, like, Sucker Punch, with Sly, and Infamous, and Ghost, or, yeah, I guess Ghost is the franchise? Series? Because Ghost of Yotei is coming out? I feel like of the Sony studios, Sucker Punch, and then probably, maybe to a slightly lesser extent, but, like, still Insomniac would be, like, probably the two that I'm, like, most interested in their library. But even then, Spider-Man 2 is on PC, and I'm not super interested, but that's less to do with Insomniac's pedigree and more to do with superhero fatigue, for my personal taste. Like, I feel like I really enjoyed Spider-Man Remastered, or whatever, the version that we got on PC. And Miles Morales. I enjoyed both of them. But I feel like I kind of got my fill. I'm sure I'll play Spider-Man 2 at some point, but I'm not, like, chomping at the bit to play it. And I think that's part of the... I would not doubt if that's not part of the kind of mixed reception that that game had. And that maybe some people don't realize was a factor. It's just that it's like... Well, no, I guess a lot of the criticism was that it's sort of more of the same. But maybe better in some regards, maybe worse, but kind of more of the same. And that can be good, that can be nice, can be refreshing. Not refreshing, but that can be comforting. Now it's too dark in here. But, yeah, that's why, like, Wolverine could be interesting, if it's still happening. Especially if it's not open world, which, as soon as someone brought up the fact that it doesn't necessarily have to be open world, I was like, oh yeah. And plus, like, Ratchet games aren't open world, they're level to level. So I'm like, huh, yeah, if it's a more linear... What the you need to get some sleep, dude, or what?
I have been waiting for you, Your Grace.
For how long?
This day, as all days before and after, is... Shea Gorath has fallen, and you seek the means. However, no mortal may sit upon the throne without the staff, so if you wish to... I can create the physical shell of the staff, but...
And even when it comes to, like, Santa Monica, the only game I've played from them is God of War 2018. That wasn't too long ago. I think that might have been earlier this year, actually. And I don't know, I just didn't really... I didn't dislike it, but I didn't really like it that much, ultimately. I'm down to play Ragnarok, see where things go, and particularly see the combat and enemy design be, like, more refined and varied and shit, but... yeah, ultimately I came away from that game being like, no, you know what? That's the example. That's the example. That proves, and this is not like confirmation bias in that way. Well, I mean, I guess it is, but not in a way that it's like, this just, similar to like I said about the Doom games, which speaks nothing of their quality because they're well-made games. But like finishing my playthrough of Doom 2016 and Eternal, like I said earlier, reminded me that I don't really like first-person shooters. And so the playing God of War 2018 sort of like proved the theory that I'm not really into those super cinematic third-person, like Sony-ism kind of games. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't enjoy that, then like maybe I would enjoy The Last of Us because it has like a stealth component, which I like.
Guess it was nothing.
Am I supposed to be in this loading zone? I can't tell. I feel like maybe. I genuinely can't tell. Maybe let me go back to this one because the waypoints are sometimes fucked up, but I guess it's 86 away, so yes, I should be here. But yeah, I'm not trying to shit talk Sony because like the same could be said for Microsoft. I don't really, like I said, I don't really care for first-person shooters that much, so like Halo's kind of out the window. Even though I like the vibe and the aesthetic, and I own MCC on Steam, so like I probably should play through the campaigns of at least the first 3 at some point. It's a genre I don't really care for. And like Gears, I like third-person shooters. And so I'm sure I would enjoy Gears from like a gameplay standpoint. But I feel like the aesthetic and just sort of the rah-rah, maybe I'm taking the wrong thing away from it. I know there's an emotional core to those games. The big thing with those is they're just not on Steam. That's like the main issue. Although didn't they just announce that Gears 1 is getting remastered again, but this time for PlayStation and maybe PC, hopefully? I should save these. Isn't that like a new thing? New development? I should probably check if there's a Steam listing for it, in fact. And another thing that proves my point, at least from my taste, because, you know, I'm the one speaking from my perspective, so, like, it is my opinion. I should not have to preface any of this conversation with that, but I am. Well, I guess I'm not prefacing it at this point, but you know what I mean. The fact that I enjoy and I'm looking forward, like, I enjoy the Metroid Prime games, and I'm looking forward to Prime 4, despite not really liking first-person shooters, because, for one, it's Metroid, but for two, it's like the focus isn't really... It's more so on the exploration and finding upgrades and shit like that than it is the shooting. Like, there's a lot of shooting involved, but, like... For one, it's, like, projectile-based, which I find more interesting, and I think Halo is similar with most of its weapons as well, as opposed to it being hit scan. And I guess Doom has that too. That's, like, a small factor. I wouldn't say that that's, like, a... Now that I think about it, it's not really a big distinction. But yeah, like, it is the isolation and the alien worlds and shit like that. I just went backwards, didn't I? Or no. The waypoint's just fucked up, isn't it? I think that's what's happening here. But yeah, with Xbox, it's like... I guess the only reason I give a shit about Xbox, as far as like a publisher, is because they own Bethesda, and I know that Bethesda's output has been very rocky, even as a publisher themselves. I'll say it again, like, I haven't played a new release from BGS since Fallout 4. Aside from this, I guess, but this was Virtuous anyway, so... It's not... And like, yeah, it's a new release, but it's also a remaster of an old game, so it's a little different. But, like... I haven't played anything from Arcane since Dishonored 2. yeah, it's like, it's not really a publisher that I'm like, I feel like they're a little bit more in my wheelhouse than Sony is, but like, then again, I haven't really tried some of the Sony properties to like know that for sure. Insofar as like Sucker Punch and Insomniac's like earlier work. But yeah, like what does Microsoft have behind besides Halo and Gears that's like noteworthy? You know what I mean? Like, I mean from like older gens especially. Because now they have Bethesda, Activision, whatever. I don't really care about Activision at all. Yeah, I played Hearthstone a lot for a few years, but have not in more years than I did play at this point. Like, it's been longer since then compared to how long I was actually playing for, but yeah, and here I am with a character named after a fucking Warcraft character, but that's more so because I was just throwing together a paladin for Fighters Guild and Mages Guild, and I was like, yeah, who's a paladin? Oh, Uther, okay, sure. But my touchstone for that is through Hearthstone, not through Warcraft or anything. But, yeah, there's nothing really under the Activision umbrella I give a shit about, frankly. I don't even know if I own the Activision published games on Steam. I'd have to check, but, like, I'm pretty sure I don't. And then, like, yeah, Bethesda, as far as the umbrella, that umbrella is concerned, is, like, the most interesting leg of, what Microsoft owns to me. But it's not, again, it's not like I'm running out and getting every new release or anything. I am intrigued by that Indiana Jones game, because I've just heard so many good things about it, though. I'm not really a big indie guy per se, but, like, as far as Indiana Jones, I mean. But, you know, I watched those movies growing up because my dad was a big fan and shit like that. And, it's not really, like, my vibe or aesthetic or whatever, my preferred sort of thing. But at the same time, if the game is good, then I'm down. Especially because it's, you know, it's at least... I'm at least, like, you know, familiar with the tropes and that kind of thing. 110? Oh wait, is this light armor? It is. It looks terrible, but maybe we actually need this defensive prowess for Jiglag. Then again, this fortifies our marksman by 8 points, which is kind of a lot. So never mind. Spell absorption. But yeah, I feel like if I were to, you know, pick out my favorite game series or franchises or even like developers or something, studios, it is kind of like a few here, a few there kind of thing. Like, similarly, I don't care about everything Square Enix puts out either, right? Same with Capcom, although I guess Capcom is like more in my wheelhouse as far as third parties is concerned. Like, I enjoy Resident Evil, I enjoy Monster Hunter. Man, I love Mega Man. It's just like we haven't got anything new in so long. What else do they have? Onimusha, like I said, Onimusha is kind of cool. I mean, Onimusha is very Resident Evil, though. Classic Resident Evil. To be fair, so like I'm not surprised that it did gel with me to a certain extent. I guess DMC is the main one that I haven't really, like, clicked with. Even though DMC 5 is certainly a great game. And I have played through that. But I've only played through it once, so, like, I can't really... I know that's a game you, like, you know, you get better at and play more of and kind of click with more and stuff like that. For sure. And I like the ranking system in that game. Like, it keeps you honest as far as, like, how well you're playing. Unless, maybe there's ways to cheese it. I don't know if there's, like, certain TMC games where you can cheese the ranking system by kind of just alternating between two things, but, like, I like that it encourages mix-ups in that regard. Whereas a lot of action games, it's like easy to fall into the trap of just using what works, like what I was saying about certain turn-based RPGs.
You are not one of us.
Oh, friend?
You do not belong here. Quick, please. Good, good. Your face is known to me. One so famous as you cannot expect to walk around here. You are the Duke, yes? And Sheo Goreth has sent you to find Sirta, has he not? Clever you are, but I can sense a liar. I too want to see her dead. And others here have had enough of her, yes? We wish that if you will help me. I require weapons for myself and for the apostles that will help me do the deed. She has forbidden me. Very clever, but you must be discreet. Do not remove the robes or you will be attacked. And be cautious of killing my allies. I cannot... Will you help me Do not be foolish. We can Bye.
What if I don't give you weapons in the case you betray me, and just fucking sneak through? I guess I don't need to sneak through if I'm wearing this, right? Supposedly. Let me repair my... So, am I safe to just, like... I forget what I was saying, though. Something interesting actually happened.
What?
That sounds, like, unnecessarily harsh, but... yeah.
Greetings. Hello.
It's just... yeah.
May you never darken.
Chat disconnected. Don't do this. Successfully connected. Get connected for free. With education can. Anybody remember those commercials? Good times, I think. Got the skeleton key, bitch. I'm supposed to kill you, right? Suffer to kill Sirta for me. Oh yeah, so I need to kill her. You're tanky. You're a tanky one, aren't you? You bitch. Damn it. Oh my god, that does so little. Actually, never mind.
Stay away.
Get murked. Holy shit. Got her eye. Take your staff and your robes. They wanted her dead, so they're not gonna aggro me, I guess. The second item. Just partially invisible man right now. Chillin'. But yeah, I think... I guess back to what I was saying about, like, the lack of, like, big releases for me this year. At least, like, going forward. As far as we know, I guess. Like, stuff could be revealed and whatever, sure, but... we'll have to see by Summer Game Fest. Usually if something's not announced by then, it probably won't happen this year. And will be next year. But, shit. I had a thought, and it just flew right out of my skull, and I can't remember what it is. Damn. Oh, I know what it was. So, that's part of the blessing and the curse of like knowing your tastes really well. And you know, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna write off every first-person shooter or whatever, but like, I would say rarely, if ever, is there a first-person shooter that really like, because it's a genre I don't really like that much, or not really, doesn't really click with me. Like Doom is kind of like, Doom was kind of like the one to catch my eye initially. If that means anything. But yeah, like when you know your tastes really well, like I'm still willing to try, you know, games I'm like unsure about in certain cases, but usually I'm not willing to spend full price on something like that. Like I'd rather save that money for games that are surefire day one buys that like that I know I will enjoy, and like that does happen. Doesn't happen like terribly often. Like, it does happen. Usually I'm correct about those things. Because it's my taste we're talking about here. But, and that's what I mean by that. But, yeah, it just means that, like, certain big tentpole releases, if they're in a genre or series or from a developer or publisher or whatever the factor is, to where I have a reason to not be interested, or, like, it just doesn't capture my attention in that way, then that's like an easy, just basically you can ignore it kind of thing. Like, it's just an easy, I don't have to pay attention to this thing or concern myself with when it's releasing because I'm not interested in it. So that, of course, like leads to, or it can lead to playing fewer games if you don't have older stuff to go back to, of course, for replay. Which, you know, some people are like that, where they have some kind of aversion to, oh, my back, just had like a cramp. There are definitely people out there that have aversions to older games for whatever reason. I guess you could say I'm the same way, just past a certain point, but that point is further back than a lot of people, I think. Like, I'm not going out of my way to play like some Atari shit. Kind of deal. Not that there can't be fun to be had there. I'm not like trying to discredit that or the impact or whatever, but just like, I don't know. Largely the furthest back I tend to go is like Super Nintendo. But at this point, like, I've played a lot of the major tentpole releases on that system. There's still like plenty that I haven't, but it's mostly like games I played before that are like go-tos as far as like going back to them sort of thing, as opposed to playing new stuff. Or stuff that is new to me, rather. But yeah, once you know your tastes well enough, in addition to, you know, maybe some jadedness that comes with getting older and playing a lot of games and, you know, industry trends and maybe not being to your taste in certain regards, there's a lot of factors. But those factors ultimately can lead to, like less interest in like fewer, like interest in fewer, like genuine interest, I should say, in fewer releases. Especially at full price, I should say. How in the shit? Here we go. But I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. It's good for my money and it's good for my time. You know? Like, oh no, I don't have to spend another $70 on a game that I don't want to play. Oh, I'm shaking in my boots. It's like, no, that's, like, I'm fine with that because it just means I don't have to spend that money or that time on something that I'm not interested in. So, like, I don't view that as a bad thing because there's still plenty to play. As far as, like I was saying, going back to older stuff you haven't played. Because some people act like, even if they've owned all the consoles for several generations, some people act like they've played everything, and it's like, there's God, like, there has to be something from back then that you haven't played. And that's, like, not even factoring in, that's not even factoring in replaying stuff. What are we doing? Oh. Oh shit. We're doing a Zelda.
What's the matter? Getting tired?
A little bit. We're doing a Zelda, but not in the way that that phrasing would have you believe. Oh, fuck. Shit. Acrobatics. Away. I can silver arrow down Rufio.
Well, well, look who we've got here.
Me. Fuck. I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm bad.
Die, damn you. Die, damn you.
I gotta get a soundboard, or like hook up my iPad as a soundboard. I feel like that'd be funny. Because every time I say I'm bad, I can have Michael Jackson say it too. And stupid shit like that. Which would be funny. I don't get my arrows back, I'm guessing, yeah. Shadow Rend. It's pretty sick. Wait a second. Oh, it's a claymore? I mean, blade skill, go burr, I guess. I'm not really a claymore wielder, aesthetically speaking, but it's fine. I'll get rid of... Get this heavy shit out of my inventory. I'm not going to sell this. Hold on to this, maybe, if I need more defense for Sheo. But... what is weighing me down so much? Is it like random shit? Madness Sword Matrix. I mean, I know this shit adds up, but like, what is going on? I guess it's this, 110. It looks fucking stupid, so like, I don't know. I guess I don't have to drop it, because I... What am I doing? 2, 1... What? Oh. Let's see. What's the enchantment on this? Hold up. I didn't even look at that. Damage, health, weakness to magic. That's kind of sick. I need to buy more arrows. Little teleporter out of here. The waypoints can keep confusing me because, like, if I'm gonna follow them, they should be, like, on the actual door, not, like, behind it or some weird shit. Before I turn this in, I think I'm gonna warp fast travel, but, you know, same difference. I think I'll fast travel back to New Sheoth and see if I can buy some arrows. I also have a level up, so I can level up my strength and endurance more before the Jigalag fight. But I have to de-aggro these guys first. But hey, who knows? Maybe eventually I'll get to a point where I can actually take some time to, like, read manga, or like get back to watching anime again or something. If the pool of games that I'm like, I don't know though, like I know Gustavo was like sort of joking or like half joking when he was talking about outgrowing video games, but like there's almost always going to be something that I want to play, even if it is replaying an old favorite. Like it's been a while since there's been a period where like there's not something that I want to be playing, or like am playing, like somewhat regularly, you know what I mean? There are times where I game less, like obviously when I'm traveling I tend to game less, except for like maybe on the plane. But even then, that large stint of traveling I did earlier this year for business, I actually didn't game as much as I had planned initially. But part of that was because we were really busy, which is fair. But even like on the flights and stuff like that, I just didn't play as much. I mean, obviously, you know, if when I end up getting a Switch 2 at some point, and there's like more games coming out, like if I had like a handheld that had games I wanted to play, I have my little retro handheld thing. But like I was saying, it's really just like those old favorites, which I've played a lot already. So it's a matter of like, do I want to blitz through a playthrough of like Mega Man X or, you know, whatever it is.
Welcome back, friend.
And at the time, the answer was no. So,
How can I help you?
yeah, I don't care about this.
Armor and weapons. Maybe not.
Why do you only have iron?
Get the job done.
Why do you only have iron arrows, you shithead?
See you.
Fucking shit feed, dude. The fuck? What is that from? Isn't that a reference to something? Like shithead, shithid? I had to have heard that from somewhere. I forget where I can level up. Where's the armor? It's like things found. No, I think it's... I mean, I can look on the map, but I think it's like... It's right next to another shop or some shit. Yeah, it's like over here, I think. Possible sneeze incoming. Where the shit is this? It's not things found, is it? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. Cutter's weapons. Oh, it's like... Yeah. Okay. Please tell me she has, like, better arrows than frickin' arrows.
May you bleed. You remain faithful. That is good. I've got the sharpest blades in the Isles.
I mean, I guess I just buy up all the silvers, because...
I'm sure you'll put that to good
I've got the
use.
Alluring Dark Arrows as well, which are just as good as Elven, actually, damage-wise. So maybe I just switch over those. I don't have very many of these. These are pretty strong, too. Maybe I didn't need to buy this many, but, like, just in case. And in fact, by virtue of that, let's bail on these so I can just have
I can accept that.
these other ones equipped. Can I craft more... Forge weapon? Oh, I don't have anything for enchanted arrows. But what's the base damage on...
Weapons and armor here. Especially weapons.
17? I mean, that's pretty good. So even if it's just
What shall
17 power arrows...
What shall
Magic sword. Might as well, right?
What these what these what shall these what these what shall
That's probably more than I need.
what think of me. Go.
Can't tell if she's down bad or just insane or both. Grand Madness Bow, 23? And me? That's insane. Plus these are 18. So like this is just scaled shit. Not to make a pun. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the fucking level scaling in this game, but it's all good. Grand Madness Longsword. I mean, it's kind of worse than this. Very fine Madness Arrow. In that case, I'm just gonna go with the Grand Madness Arrows, because 125 is more than I'll need, probably. And we'll go Grand Madness Bow. This is drained of its enchantment anyway, so it's kind of outclassed. So let's offload some shit. Like Bow of Affliction. Like this at least has an enchantment on it, in case this starts to deteriorate and lose its power, I guess, in the Jiggalag fight. I don't want to swap to these for 20 arrows and then swap away. These could actually be, well, yeah, it's only a point difference, so I can start with these. On Jiggalag, Grand Madness Sword. This is just worse Shadowrend, right? Although I guess it's a longsword and not a claymore, to be fair. This is a little faster, so the DPS is probably better than this. But if I'm going to sell anything, it's going to be probably this. I don't care. I don't need this many silvers now. As a backup, I'll keep 99, I guess.
You got a good deal there.
Alluring Dark. Well, I don't know, ghosts haven't really been a factor much, but I guess the Alluring Dark arrows are kind of redundant when I have these. Let's get rid of those.
There.
Okay, the Very Fine Madness arrows. Is like one attack point, like how much? I guess it depends on, like this is a flat amount of damage, whereas like it does 15 period? Like ignoring defenses, or does that mean it's like on top of the 17? I don't know how damage calcs work in this. Like if this would be better than this, or if this is better than this. My mind jumps to this being better. The 17 plus the damage health. Yeah, because damage health, so it's actually 15 points of health, not 17 or 18 factored into what the opponent's defense is, kind of thing. So this would be better. But I only have so many of them. I don't have a matrix to craft more. I'm still over encumbered. What am I holding? Fuck this garbage.
Fair deal.
This stuff doesn't weigh very much, but I know it's so much better than the Shrouded Armor defensively. But again, this fortifies my offensive stuff, too. But then I'm like, well, what if Jiggalag is damaging me too much for me to... I mean, it hasn't been an issue thus far. And I have a lot of healing shit.
That's a fair deal.
Maybe I'll need that, I don't know. Madness or Amber.
That's a fair. That seems fair to me. You got a good deal. A fair bargain. That seems fair.
Not really in a spellcasting mood. Summon Rufio's Ghost. Like, that would be the only one I'd probably use. I know this doesn't cost anything or it doesn't weigh anything, but just get the shit out of my inventory. If it becomes an issue, I'll just console command unlock what I need. If I soft lock myself, but usually you can't sell a key. I feel like you actually need it. Worthless.
You got a good deal. That's a fair deal. That seems fair. You got a good deal. That seems. I can accept that.
Spell absorption could be good, maybe. Strong spell absorption. Potion of fortify health. Who cares?
I can accept that.
Personality.
That seems fair. to me.
Agility, don't
That's a
care.
fair deal. You got a good. That seems fair to a fair bargain. That seems fair to me.
381 to 385. If there's somewhere I could put the Golden Saint armor, I would, but we're not encumbered anymore, so that is nice. And plus I'm gonna gain a little bit more carry weight on this next level up. So let me do that real quick. Because I know this causes, like, this will cause Jigalag to be stronger because of level scaling and shit. But being able to invest more into my strength and endurance, you would think would make up for that, I think. Otherwise, what's the point? Otherwise, why do you even want to level up in the first place?
You're too sleepy if you very well. Take care. Wish I could.
Level 19, and we're nearing the end of a playthrough and I'm level fucking 19, dude. I guess this is just kind of a low-level game, to be fair. Because even then, like, I bet if you distributed your attributes in a certain way, you would end up maxing all of them by, like, what level? Right? If you're able to distribute 12 per, it's like this would be, like, 4 more levels. But then I would also be investing 5 in, like, other stuff. It's like, I don't know. I don't feel like doing the math. And also, if you invest in luck, it's 4 points. Which, like, gives you something to do. It's weird that's the only one that costs more than 1, though. Alright. We're gonna start taking sun damage. Which is a little annoying, but as long as I fight Jigalag at night, I feel like it'll be fine, assuming that's an option. Because then I will be faster, stronger, etc.
Citizen, but I must return to my post.
Bye. Your lips to his ears.
Excuse me?
Take care.
Speak quickly, mortal.
This dude's still fucking here. Fucking Fimian, dude.
Citizen.
What a guy. Like, I have mentioned that I like the persistence of objects in the world. Like, sort of that immersive sim sort of element to things, where a lot of things are interactable and shit. But it does get a little silly where it's like, alright, can we clean up the corpses from the street, maybe? I feel like the next step would be like, alright, you can find these characters in the morgue or something, right? Like, after the fact. I think that is something that Skyrim did decently well, though. I mean, I guess there are crypts in all of the Oblivion towns as well, because there's chapels all around. But I guess, I don't know, I was mostly thinking of Blood on the Ice, that one Windhelm quest, where, like, you actually go in and, like, I don't know if you identify a body or something, or it's something to that effect. Push moving.
You have the items, contrary to all prediction. However, what comes next is now unclear. You possess the eye and the brand. After I shape them there,
Don't fucking care, just do it. God damn it. One incomplete staff.
Inaction areas.
In action there is Got it. Wise words from a wise man. The only thing is, like, it'd be nice to wait until nighttime so I can fast travel and not take sun damage. I don't know how this is gonna work out though. What arrows do I have equipped? None. I see. Damn, that damage. That's why they call it damage. I totally didn't do what I just said I was gonna do. Oh shit. Hopefully that didn't pick up on the mic. A little gassy lately. It's Luigi's fault. Definitely didn't steal that joke. Even though it has no context in this in this context. Luigi makes me gassy. The sit. Say again?
Is everything all right?
No.
You look a bit ill.
Ah, you're back. You may have noticed that we
Am I back? What about?
A bit of a problem. Indeed. The font is being ordered. As goes the font of madness, so goes the realm. Yes. Once the source of madness becomes the font of order. This is true. Very little surprises me, but your successes, indeed, it is your very success that must have led Jiggalag to this unexpected avenue of attack. Somehow, the forces of order have poisoned the pools of main. I suspect the traitor Thaden. Jiggalag has never had an original thought in his existence. Be that as it may, you will have to enter the fountainhead beneath the tree and Sheogorath's private sanctuary. Normal, enlightening as always.
Oh. The tree has a butthole, I see. I like these arrows. I do. What the shit? Oh. Wait, Wait, I'm supposed to actually use them to help. Whoops. Sorry, buddy. Put down with the rest of them. Did I fuck it up? The crystals. There's no way this is a soft lock, but maybe I have to leave and come back. I guess I can just reload my save when I entered. That's weird. Just let him do his thing. Is he gonna break down the root door? Okay. You're not gonna aggro me, but these guys are aggroed, I see. facing that one guy from The Last Airbender, this swamp guy. Are you gonna move again, or like, what do you... Shit. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna keep moving forward. And I guess, like, summon... It appears to be empty. How? I'm confused. Okay, wait, this one... This one's doing something. It's definitely doing something. Oh, another... Are you a friendly one? I guess so. That's an... Okay, I see. The ones with the... With the white outline. But I need to go down this way, so, like... Who's heading towards a root door? I'd assume either one of you. They move incredibly slowly. Yeah, there's a door this way, that's promising. Keep moving. Why is the teabag animation sometimes shit? I guess you have to, like, toggle it at the right moment. Oh, wait, what? Oh. I'm dumb. Specifically the ones with the crystals that are the problem.
Just a gnarl, I suppose. Let them drink their fill of order.
Oh, are you? Oh, you are. Okay. You bitch.
Order has always proved the stronger.
Feel like I'll probably need the Shard of Order. Loud as fuck. The fuck? Oh my god. Mm-hmm. Get pooped on. Now. Okay, so we've got multiple objectives. Oh, that's right, because the Mania one and the Dementia one, yeah. Makes sense. I don't really know what I'm looking for. This is a door with crystals, though, so I kind of have to wait for one of the friendly ones to get over here, which is a little, and by a little I mean a lot, annoying. Oh, wait. Never mind. We are so fucking fast. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude, we're so fucking fast, it's awesome. Order in the court. Why are you turning away, dipshit? What are you doing? We're taking some serious damage, which I'm not a fan of. Now cleanse. Cleansing complete. Take the shards again. It's so fucking loud, so, just in case. Defensively, I'm so weak, though. But the extra sneak is really nice for getting through these areas. But this is definitely... I mean, it's obviously better. Number higher, but... Number higher, but... On this side, I see. I think. Oh, the shards of order open the door. Oh. I see. So you don't need to actually wait for them once you at least get a shard of order. Shit, I almost fucked that up. I don't actually know where I'm going, I'm just heading the general direction of the... Bitch. I love how I'm capable of just like disappearing. Just a gnarl, I suppose. I love it. Where are you? I see one of you. That not one-shotting is kind of upsetting.
Strength through order. Strength through order. I serve the Lord of Order.
Get booped on. Take this just in case. What I really want is my arrows back. I hate how the sound effect keeps playing over and over again every time I tab out. It's so annoying. We'll do it again. Crystal staff, diadem. Probably encumbered. Oh no, I'm not, surprisingly. Okay. Made it through relatively unscathed. Time for the final battle, perhaps? Oh, I was like, what, where am I supposed to go? Where do we go now? Ba-dum ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum bum ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum ba-dum ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum. Wah wah. Bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum bum bum.
My lord, Art Kendo Jansa. Please accept my pardon, Lord. The Art Kendo merely wants you to know that matters of the gravest... If it please, my lord. She requested also that I inform you that...
Why don't you just...
My lord, I'm glad to see... Of course, my lord. I meant no disrespect. My zeal and the rep... The situation is this. An obelisk of order has activated in the palace court. We will defend the...
Is it time for me to fight Jiggle Boy? Or what? Gigolo?
Blessings, citizen.
Kneel before the saints.
Where are you?
Defend the
Bad.
palace.
Babe. Oh, what the shit? You shut it down? Oh, I need... Oh shit, I don't want to take their weapons though. It's a little annoying. Just their hearts. That's all. Small price to pay.
Never mind. A trick of the wind, perhaps.
Do I have... I don't know how many more I have, but I might have enough. I know I had a few in my inventory to begin with. Okay, I need one more, I guess. Take this. I'm a little confused as to where specifically you're supposed to interact with this thing. It's a little...
Who's there?
Are they supposed to have regular voice lines? Seems a little strange, but... Oh shit. Okay. It's time. 24? God damn, boy. Okay, we deal a lot. We're chilling. I think.
This ends as it always does. Order shall be.
Is that not Nerevar? The voice sounds like Dig Author. And I mean, maybe it is the same voice actor, it could be. Maybe it doesn't sound the same, but it sounds similar. Kinda. Come, Moon and Star. Something, something. Where destiny is made. You mean at Bungie? Terrible joke.
For millennia, this drama is unfolded, and each time I have conquered this land.
Wait.
Only to be transformed back into that gibbering fool.
That reminds me when I played the Soul Reaver remasters. Or the remaster of Soul Reaver 1 and 2. There's a line in that that's like, Destiny is a game or something like that, or like, it's something along those lines, and I was like, hey, they predicted it. It's fucking stupid, but...
The other princes, fearful of my power, cursed me with madness, doomed me to live.
It'd be cool if that series made a comeback, though.
A broken soul reigning in a broken land. Once each era, I was allowed my true form, conquering this world anew. And each time
I'm being an asshole, I'm sorry. Why does the dialogue stop? Because you're flipping your head around.
now, though, you have ended the cycle. You now hold the mantle of madness, and Jigalag is free to roam the voids of Oblivion once more. I will take my leave,
And you will remain here, mortal. Mortal, king, god. It seems uncertain. This realm.
Took me a second to realize there was a face, and it's like, it is Sheogorath's face underneath.
Your station. Fare thee well, Sheogorath.
Or it's similar.
Prince of madness.
Alright, so now if I play Skyrim and Sheogorath's not an Argonian, then we can just dismiss this, right? Just kidding. Of course, Digital Princes don't have, like, you know, the concept of, like, a species or a race or whatever. It's like, they're appearing in a mortal form, etc. But, like, it does seem strange, though, for
Done it. Well done, Lord.
an Argonian to take over the mantle of Sheogorath, but
Doubted
whatever.
you for a moment. Now, of course, there is business to attend to. As you have assumed the mantle of Sheogorath, there are as Lord of this realm. Your first duty is to attend to the needs of your subjects. Your job is to protect them. There are intruders at the gates of madness. I'm sure that won't be necessary, Lord.
Oh.
You may request any of the Golden Saint or Dark Seducer escorts at the castle to accompany you. You may also...
It's kind of cool.
You also, many of
Sorry, I'm skipping
you
shit.
wish entertain... As you wish.
Wait, this is kind of lit, though. Hold on. Do I have the staff? Staff of Sheogorath. And... Oops. Well, now we can roleplay as Sheogorath and just sit on the throne forever. But, yeah, I got all the achievements. Sweet. Good shit. About 50 hours played. This was an enjoyable time. I know there's more to do, obviously, and there's, like, you know, plenty of side content and, like, whatever, but for all intents and purposes, this playthrough is complete. I accomplished what I wanted to.
I stand ready, Lord.
And... yeah, oh shit, we actually get the regalia. That's kinda... Yo. The physics. Okay. That's kinda... like, let me get rid of this... Again... We'll go with the black band instead, so we're not invisible. It's kinda clean, though, but I think I did a good job with this character, though. I've had a lot of practice in Elder Scrolls character creators. I think I did a good job. Because, you know, it's fun to meme around and oh, there's clipping here, but, like, maybe it's not actually... yeah, it actually looks good on the model. It's pretty sick. Handsome lizard, I guess. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really like the way the Argonians look in this remaster. Like, they probably had the biggest glow up. For sure. And in fact, I know people are pointing to the character models in this remaster as being uncanny, but I'm like... as if the original wasn't, like, uncanny in a different way. But... also, like, I kind of like how strange the characters look, because, like, the Elder Scrolls, Tamriel is a strange place. Like, I know the games don't always do the greatest job of portraying that, but it's weird. It's like, this world is weird as fuck, and that's why I like it. But yeah, I could play more. You know, I could stream this more, but I again, based on how much I've kind of been going through the motions, I'm kind of ready to put this down for now. As much as I've criticized and praised all the various Elder Scrolls games, I think there is something to like in 3, 4, and 5. Especially if you look into modding, because, like, maybe there's certain things that aren't to your taste and whatever. I don't think there should be any shame regarding that. Like, unless you're specifically trying to play or critique or whatever the vanilla game, if you're specifically trying to do that, then yeah, do that, but I don't think there's any harm in modding. Like, that's what's kept Skyrim alive for so long. You know, that's why I'll probably jump into Skyrim again at some point. Also, I like how the tail actually doesn't just clip through the chair or something behind, like he actually has it like... That's a nice touch. I like that. But yeah, that's the end of the Journey of Lurks in Shadows. A little all over the place because, well, with this character I did, like the Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood make sense, but then like Champion of Cyrodiil and Mad God don't particularly make sense for this character, but we take those, I guess.